The weather for the D-Day landings in Normandy was very important. From the point of view of success, a rising tide at 6 in the morning to stop landing craft being stranded, a full moon for floodlighting of the beaches, clear skies for our aircraft, and low winds and calm seas to reduce the risk to the landing craft and floating tanks were all required. In late May, in a secret signal to Berlin, Field Marshal von Rundstedt, Commander-in-Chief of the West, had stated the Allies would need 4 consecutive days of good weather in order to carry out the cross-channel assault. No such 4-day clear period was forecast. They were certain that the invasion could not take place in the first week of June. Of course, Bletchley Park read this message and sent it on to Eisenhower. How tempting. Nobody could agree what was going to happen with the weather. Enter on June the 3rd, Maureen Flavin on her 21st birthday, who looked after the weather station at Blacksod Point in the far west of Ireland. Her barometer was dropping and she reported it to Dublin. Shortly after, she got a phone call from the Met Office in London. Could she check her readings? When she confirmed them, D-Day was postponed on June the 5th for 24 hours as the weather would be bad. On the morning of the 4th of June, presumably hung over after the previous night, Maureen reported the pressure rising. A short spell of good weather was coming. The invasion was on. Knowing the Germans' expectations around a clear period and suspecting that the Germans didn't know of the good weather would have made Eisenhower's decision much easier. The bad weather kept German aircraft on the ground on June the 5th, and shortly before midnight aircraft were told to stay on the ground because of the shortage of fuel and the fact that the Allies weren't coming, even though they had actually sailed, and less than an hour later paratroopers were arriving. The instruction to stay on the ground was intercepted by Bletchley Park and forwarded to Eisenhower. On June the 6th, Rommel, the Field Marshal in charge of the Normandy beaches, was at home in Germany celebrating his wife's birthday. He flew back later in the day to take command. Adolf Hitler slept in that day, and as no one wanted to wake him, the reserve armoured divisions that only he could activate could not be used. The weather was not good. Many of the amphibious tanks sank in the heavy seas on June the 6th. The good weather lasted only a short time. On June the 19th, the worst storm seen for many years destroyed one of the temporary harbours. Many lives were lost because of the bad weather, but many lives were saved because the Luftwaffe were told not to fly, Rommel was absent, and the Germans were caught with their pants down. Rest in peace, all the casualties of the Normandy campaign. Many Germans knew the war was lost, including Rommel. Someone needed to convince Hitler. By the way, it wasn't until 1956 that Maureen was told about the results of her readings on her 21st birthday. She was honoured by Congress with a medal in 2021 as thanks for her part in saving so many American lives. She died on December the 17th, 2023, 6 months after her 100th birthday. Probably the last significant figure still alive from D-Day.